to another episode of the Heart Podcast. My name is Jagraj Singh Lalli, and I'm pleased to have joining me on the show today one of my favorite people, I'd say, in the hockey industry, the governor of the Richmond Sockeyes Junior A Hockey Club, Mr. Doug Paterson. Dougie, how's it going? Thanks so much for taking the time to join me.
Thanks, Jag. Always nice to talk to you. And like I said, it didn't seem that long ago, our last game we played. But anyways, it's just around the corner. We're going to start to see more of you.
100%. And I'm looking forward to being at Mineru Arenas again. It feels like it's been so long, but just right from the top, Dougie, for the crowd that doesn't know too much about the Richmond Sockeyes, who are the Richmond Sockeyes and what is their, what's their message or what's their goal to the Richmond community?
Well, as a lot of people know, and maybe some don't know, Jake, we'll be in our 53rd year this year in the community. And, we've been a major part of the fabric of Richmond for a long time. And, we're not just a hockey team that shows up at Richmond Mineru, more known as the fish tank. And, but we're committed. Part of our culture is to engage in the community. There's a number of initiatives that we have, whether it be going to a community center, going to the Stevenson Parade, serving food to the needy, 5 on 5, the church. There's Richmond Cares. They have a program. We're partnering with them, which is a Christmas toy drive in November. We'll be participating in that. So there's a number of things that we do. And like you say, we just don't show up with our hockey bag and sticks. We clearly are committed to engage in the community. And like I say, we're a major part of the fabric, and that's the mindset that we have.
And you nailed it right there, saying, especially with the Richmond Sockeyes, it's not just the hockey sticks and the on ice game that is being played, especially the off ice contributions. They mean a lot more. Now, for yourself, Dougie, your journey with Richmond goes quite a while back as well, because we know you were a former player on the Richmond Sockeyes, if I'm not mistaken, first captain, if I'm not mistaken as well. So from making that transition to, being that player back in the day to coming back and taking ownership of this Richmond Sockeyes team, what was the journey like?
Well, I can clearly remember 1971. That was the first inaugural year. Our coach was an interesting guy. His name was Bruno Pascolato, and he was a real passionate guy, great coach. And I really enjoyed my year with him. And like I say, that's 53 years ago, and I can clearly remember him as a coach and some of the things that he applied to us, and some of the guys that were on that team. So those are memories that you never lose, and you treasure for many years, Jay. And so that was my first start with the Sockeyes. And then about 3 years later, I got involved in assisting. That's my brother came on board in about 76, 77, I guess. And I was helping out the ownership at that point. And so then I took a sabbatical after that. And then I got back involved, I guess about 25 years ago. And with the alumni, we set up an alumni program with the scholarships, etc. So we're going into our 20th year as an ownership group. And like I say, this will be my 27th year of being involved in one form or fashion with the Sockeyes. So it's been a great ride, and certainly looking forward to carrying on, and the passion and the vibrations are still there, to be a part of it. And we, what makes it so fruitful is we have some great people, as you know. I mean, you just had to attend that banquet that we had that you were instrumental in being a part of, and the volunteer base, our staff, some of our volunteers have been with us 30-35 years, and you just don't get that, and we don't take that for granted. We always say we're not just a hockey team, we're a family, and we honestly talk that way, and we feel that way.
reflecting on the 27 years that you've been with the team, you've been to the highest of highs, winning what, what we used to call the Cyclone Taylor Cup, and now it's obviously changed to the Moet Cup. Um, Reflecting on, let's talk a bit more about last season, because last season was my first season with the team as well. And for myself, I came in halfway. I still remember the date. It was December 14th, the Teddy Bear toss night,
Yeah.
and Gavin Baines was the first one that scored that goal, which helped the Teddy Bears fly. It's a night I probably will never forget for the rest of my broadcasting career, Dougie. But right from the get-go, heading into the season last season, what were sort of the goals and expectations that you had set out with coaches, players, and just the rest of the staff?
Well, last year when we set out to start the year, we made wholesale changes at the coaching level. So that added some freshness, and we were excited because we spent a lot of hours recruiting, because it wasn't just about recruiting to get a body, and not a warm fuzzy body. We wanted to get the right fit, and we spent a lot of hours doing that. And I think we saw the benefit of that, Jag. And with our head coach, our assist, our co-coach, and Bob, and then our assistant coaches. So just a real strong group of coaching, and that's where it starts. And these guys, they came in, they were knowledgeable, they were committed, and then now you prepare yourself, and you throw 25, 27 bodies at them, and now it's up to them to make it happen. And we saw in quick order that we felt we had a team that could definitely compete.
And
And before you know it, we're 8-0, 8-0, 10-0, 15-0, and we're looking and we're saying, hey, listen, and then to finish the season 45-1, and then just to come one game short in Game 7 to represent your league, tells you, speaks volumes of the type of year we had.
Oh, 100%. And from the time that I joined the team all the way until the second round against Delta, the Sockeyes did not give me one reason to be sad. It was after every game that we won, just hanging out in the locker room with obviously the rest of our staff. It was such a fun environment to be a part of. And I think that really begins from a great ownership to down to the coaches and of course the player leadership. Last season our captain was Matthew Stewart, and I know you've had your fair share of things to just praises to sing about how Stewie has led the Sockeyes throughout his time spent with the team. Just the player leadership group that you had, Dougie, how much were you proud that that was the group that we decided to go with?
Well, I think in anything in life, whether it be a sports group or a business group, you have to have good leaders. And our leadership group, we've had some good ones over the years, Jag. But I got to tell you, without being unfair, Stewie will go down as one of our top captains and leaders. And the guys he had part of that leadership group were outstanding. And you need that to be successful. It's a long season, 48 games. You go through the highs and lows, and there's a lot of pressure on when you're winning. You want to keep winning. There's always a model. It's a lot more fun when you're winning, but there's more pressure that goes with it. And so they did a wonderful job, and Stewie aged out after 4 years with us, and he's going to have a role with us this year. He'll be involved in player development. He'll be a liaison with the coaching staff, amongst other things, and he'll get his feet wet. And he's already had a taste. We just came off the Fraser Valley Spring League. That was our first year in that, and we ended up winning that. And so he had a taste of working behind the bench, and so that was a good experience for him. And moving forward, at the end of the day, I always say, Jag, the status quo, even though we had a great year, status quo won't give you a repeat. You got to raise the bar. And at the end of the day, we feel that we're going to raise the bar. We've made a number of significant signings. We've got Hasselman in goal. He was an AP last year. We got Nate Gray, who's a Western draft choice, Western Hockey League draft choice as a defenseman. We got Ryan Kump on defense. So there's two key defensive positions. And then on forwards, we got Kovic and Shin, Swartz, Newton, and Suke. He was a strong AP with us. So there's 6 forwards, 2D, and a goalie that come back, and we've got a lot of guys coming back. So the task and challenge we're going to have is that some of our new guys are going to push some of our veterans, and that's always a good thing. And because if everyone just walks on and just steps in, then you really haven't raised the bar, right? And so some of our existing guys are going to have to, they'll have their work cut out, because there's going to be some young guys that they're going to compete hard for their jobs, and that's a good thing.
No, 100%. I completely agree with you on that, Dougie. And just to wrap up our thoughts on last season, losing Game 7 at home, I don't like to talk about it much, right? But from your perspective, what were the days following Game 7 like?
They were long and lonely, and it was very surreal, because when you go 45-1, you don't only think, you expect to cross the finish line. And taking nothing away from Ridge had a great hockey team. Our records were very similar. I think they had 2 more losses than us. We beat them once. We only played them once in the regular season. A great hockey game. But we had our chances. When we're up 3-2, Game 6, losing Teo Lin, that was a backbreaker. He was our top forward, our top goal scorer in the playoffs, to a broken leg, and it seems like our guys sort of slid a bit, right? And then Game 7s, they're like a coin toss, and take nothing away from Ridge. They played a complete road game, and we just didn't seem to have the flow, and before you know it, we were fighting the puck a bit, just couldn't get on the scoreboard early, because we demonstrated as a team, once we got on the scoreboard, we did it regular, and the last couple of games we didn't, and that was the difference. So I thought there was parts of the 7-game series we were the better team, and then there was parts that Ridge was. So at the end of the day, they come up stronger in the last 2 games, and that was the difference, right? But losing Teo Lin was a real tough thing to take, and because the guys look up and think he had 15 points or something in the playoffs at that point. You take that out of the lineup, and how do you replace that, right? It's tough. But we can learn from that. We can learn from that, Jag, and like I say, you've got to learn from adversity to grow. And no different than Ridge. They lost out in Game 7 the year before to Delta, and I'd like to think that we lost out to Game 7 to a good hockey team, and I think that can help us going forward for this next season.
At this level of hockey, Dougie, with every new year, it brings change. And, when we talk about change, you made mention of all the new signees that the Sockeyes have signed. There will obviously be a new captain as well, with Stewie aging out. And I know we're not gonna reveal who the new captain just is yet, because I know we'll have a big social media reveal for him. But being it so hard to replace Stewie with all the great qualities that he had, what will be the qualities that you look for in this year's captain?
Well, I think any good leader, Jag, is got to lead by example, and he doesn't always have to be your biggest producer on the ice, but he's got to make sure that guys are ready in the dressing room, and make sure that we're all pulling. As you know, we have a 7 C's culture, which is our culture is caring, commitment, connecting, and all those things. And if we do them all, that's always positive. But at the end of the day, we need to have our captain and our leaders to make sure that everyone in that dressing room is following our 7 C's, and if that happens, usually good success will happen around it.
Man, we talk about, with a new off season, some players tend to leave away. They have other opportunities they like to explore. And from a coaching staff perspective as well, you never know, some of the assistant coaches, they find other opportunities. But who are some of the returnees player wise and coaching wise that we can expect to be back with the Sockeyes this upcoming season?
For coaching, we'll have everyone back. So Cullen will be back. Cullen also is going to be the assistant manager. Bob is back as the associate coach. We're not sure. Maybe Hardy might not have the time to commit, but he'll still be around. And so we're maybe looking at toying with one other individual. But to the most part, your coaching staff is in place. And yes, there's going to be opportunities for some guys to go to the next level, and you want to encourage that. You want to be supportive of that, but I don't think there really and truly there'll be more than 3 or 4 in that level. So with 7 new guys now, so if you lose 3 or 4, do the math. We still got. We're going to be competing against some guys that were there last year. So, and that's positive, very positive.
And when we talk about the new season, obviously last season we had many theme nights for the Richmond Sockeyes as well. Teddy Bear Toss Night, and there was Lunar New Year night as well. But obviously a very important night last year with the Ray Sawada night. Fans showed up and showed out in order to pay respects to someone that meant so much to the Sockeyes community. So when we talk about community engagement, Dougie, what are some of the theme nights that the Sockeyes have planned this year?
Well, as a matter of fact, we just met last week, Sophia and Steve. Yeah, we've added on Steve. Yep, I don't know if you met Steve. Steve's a longtime businessman in Richmond, heavily involved with the Jets. So basically, Will runs the hockey operations, and Steven will be the director of business development and game day activities. And so we got Sophia and Owen, and so we've got some senior nights. We've got the lion dancing again. We're going to get them back. So they're just starting to fill the dance card now. And but they've we'll have probably at least 1 to 2 a month. And just quickly looking, so our home opener is Thursday, September the 5th. We've got a Ravens night on the 26th, and then we've got a native dance night on the 30th. So like I say, you'll see probably 2 events on a monthly basis. We have a ringette night in October. We have a seniors night for October the 3rd, and like you say, we're just starting to fill it. We're gonna have a first responders night in November. We got a Richmond Jets night. We're gonna recognize our sponsors. We got a toy drive in the food bank in December, and so we're starting to plot away, and like I say, we've been working, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, even though it's tough to relate to ice hockey when it's 25 to 26 degrees out.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
These things take time, and to do them properly and professionally, and so it's exciting, and then of course, with the new Hockey Canada pilot model, that now our rules are aligned with the Western Hockey League, and so that'll be a bit of an adjustment, and in terms of the way the officials will call the game and so forth. So the alignment that we have will give our kids that opportunity to get a taste of what it is to get to the next level in the Western Hockey League. So if you're 18 in the calendar year, you get to wear a half shield. So that's one significant change. And so there's a lot of exciting and positive things happening, Jay.
I agree, Dougie. And I just wanted to dive into that new model real quickly. It feels like it's been in the works for quite some time now, but to see there finally being some change being brought upon and the changes coming to life, how do you feel about the new model?
Yeah, I'm really excited. And the Western Canada model, BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, excuse me, Winnipeg, and now we've got a vehicle that it gives the kids that want to go to the next level, and not, let's be honest, not everyone wants to go to the next level, but the ones that do, now they get a taste, with the rules, wearing shields, etc. So if they want to go to the next level, they're ready. So it's almost like a farm system. And with the BC hockey going, independent, so Metro Vancouver with the Pacific Junior Hockey League, gives that vehicle for kids, to take the next level. And you got both Kovic and Nate Gray that are both guys that will ultimately end up in the Western Hockey League, whether it be this year or next year, but at least they can play and get aligned to the rules and everything before they make the big next step.
And Dougie, when we talk about, specific dates circled on your calendar this year, just from a hockey sort of perspective, there's obviously the rematch with Ridge Meadows sometime in the calendar as well. Great matchups with the Tunnel Series and a lot of great hockey matchups. But in your eyes, is there any specific games that you're looking forward to this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Tunnel Series is always good. We're also looking at Cortland University's come on board, and they have three campuses in Surrey, one in Langley, one in Richmond. So we're going to have a Cortland Cup this year. So it'll be Surrey Knights, Langley Trappers, and the Richmond Sockeyes. So we might not play against each other the same amount of times, but at the end of the day, it'll probably be maybe the games we played each other, but there'll be a Cortland Cup maybe based on percentages or whatever. So that'll come due this year. We're going to be doing some other initiatives with Cortland, recognizing that education is a big part of our league. Scholarships are a big part of it. So Cortland's come on board, and there'll be a number of initiatives that we'll be taking with them as well.
And if we talk about the game day experience for the Richmond Sockeyes as opposed to last year, are there any changes we can expect this year?
No, I think a lot of it will be the same. Like I say, there'll be more theme nights, and more engagement with the community. And you look at our demographics. We last year we had some training sessions, orientation sessions, to educate people what the game's all about, and we'll continue to do that. So yes, the status quo might not be there, but there will be a lot of similarities.
And Dougie, just to sort of summarize your role with the Sockeyes, what would you say has been the most rewarding part of your role as governor of the Richmond Sockeyes?
Well, I think seeing the way our team engages and is part of the fabric in Richmond, that's nice to see. Being a fourth generation Richmond guy, when we bought the Sockeyes, like I said, we're not just a hockey team, we're a family, and we want to do things in the community. That's a big thing. Being competitive as we have been, the success we've had has been great. Winning championships like we have is wonderful. Seeing kids grow to the next level. Tyler Thorpe, seeing him develop as a 16-year-old. Ryan Lynn as an AP. These here's Thorpe drafted to Montreal. Ryan Lynn will probably have a great year with the Giants, and he had a little bit of a taste as an AP with us. So seeing that development curve is exciting, very exciting.
There's two words that have been synonymous with the Richmond Sockeyes following Game 7, Dougie: unfinished business. To you, how will unfinished business play out this season?
Well, I think we can't dwell on our laurels. Yes, we can't say, well, we were 45. What we did last year won't make us successful this year. So we got to come with the mindset that there's going to be 2 or 3 guys are going to get pushed from the younger guys, and that's healthy. So that makes a team more competitive, because you had a team that was pretty good last year, and there's going to be a few of those guys getting pushed, and that's healthy. And ultimately, that creates some challenging decisions, but that's part of the business we're in, right? So I think you can see at the spring skates that these guys that had a taste of losing last year, they're anxious to get back, to get ready, and because they want to do well, and they see in their mind and that there's unfinished business, and we got to come out of the chute hard, be aggressive, and because I always say, when you're a 45-1 hockey team last year, everyone comes into Richmond, they want to beat you because you're one of the top teams. Normally, they don't come in and play their backup in Richmond. They're playing to win and to beat us, so we can't take any nights off, and that makes it for a very competitive environment. And the with the Gibson's team, that's going to be great. That's the inaugural team over in the peninsula, and that's going to be exciting. So with the new model in the Western Development model for the aligned with the Western Hockey League, and the new team coming on as the 15th team. And don't forget, we're in year 2 of our junior A pathway, so the process will be completed. Our review will be late September. By November, we'll know the teams that will be full-fledged junior A tier 2, and the other teams that will go back to junior B. And we'll know that by Christmas time.
Dougie, when can we expect the ice to be put back in at Mineral Arenas?
The silver is already in. We're skating there now, and I believe in another week or so, the main rink will be done.
Oh, I am
Yeah,
very.
because Will was there cleaning up the dressing room, moving stuff in. So within the next 7 to 8 days, we'll have both sheets, but we are skating at silver now.
I'm so very looking forward to it, Dougie. And the last question for me, it's pretty much a bit personal question, but can I expect the pizza parties to be back this year?
Absolutely. Everything tastes better when you win, and that includes a beverage and a nice pizza. So we'll definitely, that's part of our character and the landscaping that goes with it, Jag.
Dougie, as we continue to get closer to the season, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. We went through a lot of things, right? But just the answers you gave, it gets me even more excited for the upcoming season.
Jag, it's always enjoyable to talk to you. We're so pleased on what you've accomplished. And like I say, we're looking forward to working with you in year 2. And I always say, when you're winning, you have a lot more fun, and we definitely want to continue winning in the winning ways, and we're going to have some fun along the way.
You said it best, Dougie. That's Doug Paterson, the governor of the Richmond Sockeyes. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you on the next one.